Lion clone play-ins, right? So that's the only recent result we've got to go off. But how big are played so far? Will that work in the best of threes? We're out on towards A already. This is quick. And JD sees the first line of defense, and he will get the first kill as well. Story and Muteris both going to get clipped as Tabson comes in for a bit of support as well. The post-part looks actually bad, though, as U-Jerks and Arishdosh combine. This is wild.
It absolutely is. Crimbo's going to get a catch. Roman not really checking his angles as meticulously as he should. Arishdosh gets another really clean round. It's U-Jerks to finish it off, and the two of them will take over the A bomb site. No assistance needed. The contingent from FDW so long ago, right? A lot of excitement between those two players, and together they have slowly but surely, definitely surely, scaled into a really formidable force.
Yeah, big day as well from Arishdosh. You know, a sweet little three-piece from the Sweet Rice Man himself. I mean, that was pretty nice. He isolated those fights brilliantly. Clean headshots, and they needed a bit of a hero in that one. We are going to get the force buy out from Big, so this should be a comfortable round, and we're going to go for a vent dive. Nice and simple, nice and easy. Three make their way down without really facing all too much pressure. They get the B side quickly. We went for a bit of a gamble outside, and it hasn't paid off, and this actually could be a bit of a shooting gallery as well for Story. Has the advantage at range, but he does get dinged, and he quite smartly dips away. I don't need to lose this Galil, or not yet, but Rigon. Hey, they don't lose the confidence despite the lack of firepower.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really nice round to kind of just lay that in and feel a bit free, I suppose, in your approach. They're now protecting this Galil as well into the next round. Really would be a big help to get it out. I suppose sAw, with the confirmation of this one, have a bit of a decision to make. USB's not looking bad, and this is one of the things as well. We talk about Big in a very different way to the rest of the teams in this tournament. A lot of tactical prowess, of course, but I think that comes and is extrapolated from the fact that they are mostly in Tier 1 tournaments against Tier 1 teams where the individuals can struggle in places to match up against, you know, top 5 players in the world.
For sure.
But at a tournament like this, and even against sAw, yes, who have looked good, I think the mechanical aspect is going to be underplayed somewhat. There are some really, really skilled players on this team.
Yeah, when you look at kind of recent results out for sAw as well, I mean, bar that FlyQuest one the other day in that best of one, I mean, it's been a really decent set of wins in their favor. It's a real sea of green, in all fairness. The current form for them is fantastic, but then it's just the difference of current form overall, I guess in the macro sense of the scene right now versus current form in the micro sense of this tournament. Because we just can't forget how good Big looked, right? Those opening couple of games were fantastic. 13-2 against Odic, 13-7 against M80. Already down to 4 for sAw as U-Jerks gets caught early, but this is technically a bonus buy, so we're not really looking at them to win this round in a sense, but if they can get a bomb plan out of it and a couple of kills, you take that as a small victory in itself.
Yeah, you would indeed. Curious to see Muteris just on the Glock, however. I think that might be a little whoopsie.
Yeah.
He surely realized, but it's all good because, you know, one of his teammates has died. So, doesn't matter too much. Still looking at this disadvantage as an issue. It continues to get worse. Just 3 remaining now on the side of sAw, and a severe lack of utility as well. So they're going to have to find some heads. syrsoN's first test on the AWP. He passes. May well be able to do a bit more from in here as well. Slightly nervy as he looks off the angle. Nearly does go down. There's a catch on the backside, but it's an information play from Rigon.
Yeah, he kind of dies for the cause there. He knows sort of what they're set up for. They've got this top ramp control. And now it's about just making sure they can't finish anywhere. I mean, they've got 20 seconds. So I don't know if we're even just calling for a save here. Now we're creeping towards 15 seconds. And by the feel of it, it looks like this is not a committal play. These guns kept over. They're going to have a buy around it in towards the next. It'll be fine. And it'll be workable, right? That's all they care about. I just think they realize there's absolutely no point letting these AKs die for no reason, and also dropping them in towards the hands of Big. So first gun round, or first round with an investment from Big, goes pretty successful. I mean, Rigon basically the only one who falls, and like we said, it was for the benefit of the team in that sense. So a pretty, you know, quiet round all in itself. Settled within the first kind of 2 engagements, more or less. We are looking towards big. And I think the Des did a really good job of highlighting JDC in particular. I think he's somebody who's looked great throughout this tournament. And I think just the big in general has actually really given them so much to work with. But another player that I'm going to keep an eye out for is syrsoN as well. When he first joined in towards this big team, it goes without saying he was really uncomfortable. You know, averaging like a 0.96 rating or something in the first 3 months. He looked very much off his game, but recently he has looked top-notch. But they get baited into that fight. They just walk into the pitfall there, set up by sAw, and it works brilliantly, and they're all just slotting into place. JDC, best of luck, fella.
Try and take some guns away. He is going to get the drop onto one. Here's that bomb going down. There is a small opportunity for him to isolate some fights, actually. A few of the Ts are quite far away from the main crux of the action. JDC, though, I think he's already called the round, really. So he'll look to back off and look to exit. He's got a man that stands in his way. Clutcher extraordinaire will take his head keen off. So sAw shaping up nicely here. A round where big kind of walk into them. Was it necessarily required when you have the proverbial upper hand?
Yeah.
They'll be asking themselves that, and it's tough, isn't it, right? They had the right idea, just timing slightly off. Really well played. The 1-2 punch, left, right, good night. And a few nice headshots to close it out.
Yeah, the drive-by was really clean over towards ramp. So a real solid one. And being that the first true gun round, previous one was a bonus buyout for sAw, that was the true investment coming through, and it looked very clean. Get a lobby crunch out here. I don't mind these at all, especially with this sort of buy, but Roman manages to escape, thankfully, pretty unharmed for the most part, at least alive. That's all that matters. And now he can hold for if they try and wrap behind outside. He guns up on towards roof. He's only got a 5.7, so he doesn't have the benefit at range. But while all this commotion's going on over towards lobby, they're already down secret. They're already making inroads towards B. And Roman, you'd expect, should get this, and he will. The second, not so much. Traded out. So that's an AK to work with, at least.
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of the positioning of the rest of the CT side, this one will be just ceremonious. Should be over easily. Maybe another gun to take away would be nice. sAw are taking their time about it. Unsure if there's sort of some stacking players. What are they planning? Is it actually a force, right? That's one of the things, you know, how much money it has been spent here. There is, of course, this M4 still in the mixture. It's absent. Creeping round.
Fair play.
Nice find. Really well done to just have that wherewithal to not go down.
I'll tell you for free, I ain't looking there in my ML
I know,
games.
I know. It's fair enough. That's why they pay him the big bucks.
Yeah. Good due diligence there. It is just about these exit kills at the tail end here for big, and in all fairness, tabseN might get another. JDC's making a lot of noise over towards Garage, so it might actually bait Story in, and he goes with the pistol, but the drive-by with the Tech-9 is nice. And they actually don't need to push from here. They can save fine over towards that stairs position in secret, and they do. So 3 stay alive and around a 4-1 scoreline. It's pretty good.
How?
Go on.
I guess because he's got no armor, but JDC takes way more damage than the players, it feels like, who are...
It would just be the armor, yeah.
Still, though, you know, the blast radiuses on this map.
Pretty tonk on.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, they're kind of massive. So a little drive-by, though, from Story. 4-1 scoreline. I mean, generally, when I cast Nuke, you know, I'll say it every time, I look to 5 rounds on the T side, and the fact they're already this close for sAw is showing how good they are. And it comes back to, you know, early decisions. They're opening best of 1. White was floated in that best of 1. This, sAw are one of, and people have made arguments them even being the best team on Nuke at the moment. Definitely one of them at the moment, and they play like it. This is really solid. JDC, he's taking a bit of damage, but Arishdosh has snuck down Fen. And he doesn't have to move here. Even if he's a known quantity, in a way, it works, because it just baits attention over there. And they're going to just be drawn to making sure that he doesn't get away with anything for a bit of a freebie. So that's a very strong angle to now hold, and all he has to do is just pause.
sAw do a really good job on the level of communication, the level of like across-map coordination that he's down there, and maybe not even himself, maybe it is just a protocol to hold when they have this position, and they realize they have a lot. They could take the risk of sending him in. They could bank on the fact that he's not really been thought about or spotted, but why not work around what you have, which is that free secret control, and then you can just trickle the timings and make it awkward. Ooh. Jerks up top. Not going to see it, not going to feel it. Smoke starting to go down, bomb being planted here. This could be big. It seems like they have crossed him. He's got a good idea, maybe heard a little step. However, there's 3 in the lobby. He will go down, having only spotted 1. So 5-on-4 now ensues. syrsoN has been glued to this spot for a minute and a half nearly.
Yeah.
They're actually just calling it, though, again, because they feel they have a lack of control, a lack of direction to get downstairs. sAw getting in their heads here.
Yep.
This is the Nuke threat that they bring with just how strong this map is for sAw.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these sort of situations where you see that discipline coming through for sAw, you have to credit people like Berry, right? I think he has cleaned up a lot of these things for the sAw side. We always knew that mechanically they were so crisp, right? Especially that core that came from FTW, syrsoN, UJerks, and Story. They were all mechanically very talented. It was just more about how much of depth do they have, and can they make advantageous positions or situations work in their favor? And I think this is where Barry's come in and cleaned up a lot of these small things. I mean, he spoke about it where they've just been going back to the fundamentals and going back to making sure they do the small things right, because they add up in the big scale. And of course, so far working for them. You're going to see a pause called by Big, and I mean, understandably so. Kakafu going to get on the mic here, and I think he absolutely needs to rally the troops a little bit, because it's looking like quite a muted performance from Big early doors on CT side, on the most CT side of map in the pool. And I'm sure, without a doubt, they were expecting Nuke to be picked in here by sAw. It's their go-to in every series. But this is a thing, and we kind of touched about this a little bit on day one, right? You know, teams can pick into it and say, I think we've got a decent idea of how we're going to counter-strat them. But everybody's been saying that. And very, very few teams have been able to make Nuke look comfortable against sAw right now, which is why they're regarded as one of the stronger teams in the world on it.
Yeah, it's a very different approach. I wouldn't necessarily say that sAw bring like a structural T side that you expect. I'd even argue with all these rounds that they've won, I don't think we've seen an outside execute come in. You know, they play off of maybe getting one player into a clean spot, and again, just that level of coordination between them is a key part of the T side. They play around lobby, they play around not necessarily early fights, but just taking those fights. I think they understand like a fundamental of Nuke is having T-side advantages is so valuable. So they just pick up one kill or even a positional advantage, as we saw with the syrsoN down the vent in the previous round. They have a great sense of the timings, and you can see there, syrsoN, he's switching, he's up, he's down, and they take a very favorable peek together. Story finds him in between angles, and sAw should be able to capitalize off the back of that now. Crimbo in towards the ramp. Does have some assistance. Could get messy over here, actually. Tabston a little tentative to go for it. UJerks with the two-piece. There's a player outside. You know, it's all over the place. So hard to read. But the bomb is going to hit the deck here. With only 30 seconds left to recover this 2 versus 2, it may well have just slipped away from them.
Yeah, I think if this round's going to be on, it comes from Story. He has to get this kill in towards Squeaky. Got the right idea. He spots the elbow. You know, he knows he's there. Pop shot, but it's very difficult to wallbang there. He can't do a lot of damage, so position given away. He is given the luxury of crossing over. JDC goes for one, looks for the second. UJerks will trade. Time ticking, 10 seconds. Swing and a fine. UJerks, how are we getting away with that? He had no right to win it. Starts the round, and my God, does he close it. That's brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. UJerks waking up. He has looked fantastic over the past few months for this team. A name that, again, we'd come to watch. A name that sort of burst onto the Tier 2 scene. Maybe didn't turn any heads, you know, for the high-level game, but we knew there was a bit of something in this player. And it's a long, long time since we've seen him really come alive, but recently, for sure, maybe even we talk about the addition of Berry, he's potentially worked him in nicely.
Yeah, because I think the issue with UJerks for a while, and we used to touch on this quite a bit, was that sometimes he'd be the best player in the server, and sometimes he'd be the worst, right? He would fluctuate so much. It was like his skill ceiling was so high, but his floor felt low at times, and that was the issue. You know, you come into games, and we would always say, you know, the pre-show segments and be like, what UJerks are we going to get today? Are we going to get the one who's going to just take over the server, or the one who's going to go a little bit missing? And I think, like you mentioned, since Barry's come in, I think he's cleaned that up quite a bit. He's just brought him back in towards, this is how you should play, this is what you should do in certain situations, this is how you give yourself all the advantages to work with, and my God, does he look great.
Loud nades outside, the AWP getting involved. Big have got a different message in this one. In your face, they will get that first as well, but it leaves Ramp vulnerable. And again, sAw know this map like the back of their hand. Outside, okay, well, we saw 2, potentially 3. We know what is up. However, getting in towards B is going to be difficult. Ramp is one piece of the puzzle. Again, they are aware that there should be some presence here via the secret pathways. Smoke's going down. Might give an opportunity across to the CT at single to get in. Again, not rushing things. A minute left on the clock. No need for this bomb plant. Going safe, going in the smoke. Spam is there from both angles, but nothing landing. An aggressive move through single. JDC overwhelmed and falls. Story's got Ramp with the AWP. You know, this is such a weird game state right now, especially for the retaking CT side to deal with. They have to find a way to break back in. Single door, it's going to be tough. There's 2 watching it. Ujerks takes the first. Roman's also got his eyes on it. They're just all over, swarming around, finding these frags. Tamsin somehow in behind. Again, a breakdown in communication, a breakdown in what the hell is going on as sAw keep the chaos high, playing by feeling and playing well.
Look at Ujerks as well. No rest for the wicked here. He wants this kill. Oh, he won't get it though. Seen off. syrsoN does sigh some relief. Hashtag sAw sweep. And yeah, I mean, they are arguably seen as the favorites coming in towards this game. So who knows, but a really, really nice one all in all. And again, it just for us at the moment feels like the raw instincts out from sAw, but also just this team cohesion is superb. There is no gaps in the armor. The second a post plant comes down, it's wonderful work. 7-2-1. This is not the scoreline Big wanted. Starting off this series in a tough old predicament. They've been trying to change up the tempos a little bit, but it's not exactly been too bountiful. Couple of pixels spotted at syrsoN's head. He's lucky to get out of there alive. Same can't be said round 2. He dips back in towards back right garage.
Again, another change up from Big. syrsoN going to win his fight up top. Actually not been looking too bad. As we mentioned him, one of the players to keep your eyes on. syrsoN has been delivering. It's not resulted in an awful lot, unfortunately, with only the 1 big round, but he has certainly been on the map for sure. Single door burst downstairs. Tamsin is around here, but it's so tough to get those multiple kills that they so desperately require. JDC, big kill from him. Molotov in. sArsoN, yeah, goes down to it. Not much he can do, hoping for a fight. Never comes his way. Ujerks alone against 4 now.
If there's ever a time to show up, it would be now. There's one. Does take a healthy amount of damage though in the second. He's not going to get his fortunate rig on. We'll see it off, and finally Big get another round back on the board, but it needs to be one of many at the tail end of this half. I think with how rough things started, I would probably say an 8-4 they'd be okay with. 7-5 feels quite unlikely just because sAw aren't going to slow down. They've still got money left in reserves, and they're still in a comfortable spot for now. So I think if they can get an 8-4 for Big, it's potentially workable. Then we're talking about you get a pistol, you get a force, first gun round, game tie. But like we always say, a lot of things have to go right for that situation to be taken. But that's much better. I think they take their aim jewels well, and they just understand what sAw are trying to do. They don't give them the luxury of it.
syrsoN again looking to find the opener here. Does happen for him. Crimbo finding one through the smoke as well, as Big turning proceedings in their favor the past couple rounds. Something has switched. It's not quite aggressive, not quite passive. syrsoN does overstep the mark and loses his life. And again, sAw looking to fight, looking to catch you off. It is working. sArsoN, 2-piece for him, make it 3 for the round. And now just Rigon and Crimbo. They say, where the hell has this round gone? Where have my teammates gone? Crimbo standing strong. Rigon behind could be huge. They've not considered him at all. It's down to the 1 versus 2. Can he get the timing here? Should be able to drop this player, and the bomb does so. Half HP for Mutiris. Where the hell is he? Has he gone up? Has he gone around? Don't quite know. This, again, is the sAw MO. Keep them confused on a leash. He will be spotted out this time, though. Nade gonna go in. Not happening. Mutiris picks up the pace, goes up the ladder. Goes down the ladder, goes up the ladder, looking for a clean 1v1 here. Is he going to get it? The answer seems to be no. Nade goes in, misses Rigon completely. What is happening here? Mutiris just edging forwards, looking for the fight. Rigon even corrects his posture to make sure he wins this one out, only taking 1 point of damage, leaving 1 point of damage on Mutiris, looking to siphon the soul away from the IGL of sAw, and he will indeed do it. Huge round from Rigon on the timing.
I think that adjustment of posture might have helped. He didn't take a point of damage, and he played around that box in towards CT well. This is better for Big. I will say one thing that was really nice out there from sAw is they changed their default. Their default at the moment has been leaving one over towards ramp, one in towards lobby, 3 towards outside that takes secret control. That time, when they spam down to the smoke and then get a kill towards credit card or config, they then change it up and say, right, let's take garage control, let's wrap in towards hell, let's try and put the pressure back on towards them, and it nearly worked. I just think maybe overcomplicating the situation a little bit. Bursting on towards A, not working well as JDC gets 2. Still alive, given the reload, and as he reloads, that's when the fights come back. All down to the MAC-10, he runs out of ammo. Big find 4. This is better, and heading into the final round of the half, they might actually recover a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully, man. This is indeed the game that we wanted out from these teams. Ever tense, ever hard to predict, particularly while sAw are in the mixture, but a big response. It is a sAw classic. Change up the pace after dropping a round, especially in such a lead. It does come close, it does get uncomfortable, but Big starting to get used to the gloves off Counter-Strike here. No wrestling in the mud with sAw.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff the past few rounds from them. A weird buy once again here for the Portuguese.
We'll see. And in this final round as well, it's a lot of reliance. Has to be said off the back of Arash Dosh. AK-47 is the only premium rifle. There's a couple of Galils for Story, Mutiris too, but this would require something. Mutiris, that's not bad for the first. Crimbo doesn't get cleared, not effectively, as he will get 2 just about with his final bullet before his demise. 3 versus 3. AKs, now a couple of them to work with. Story also got 1 to wield, but that's taken a fair chunk of damage, and Roman's not close enough to be able to pick one up himself. Hang on, Deagle here up close. Oh, that's a misstep by Rigon. He tries to get information, and that's good when you have the numbers. When you don't, it leaves gaps in the armor, and it's now all down to syrsoN. Scriv surely unwinnable.
Yes. Indeed. Very unwinnable in the end. Oh my goodness. A wild finish coming through, but yeah. I don't know, man. This is feeling very, very difficult from here on in.
I came in the league, went straight for the title. No time to idle. I finna get it, put that on the Bible. This is survival. Gotta treat every move made like the final. One by a mile. Nobody believe it, they all in denial. Look at me, look at me. Still in the show, that's the crook in me. They want me gone with the hook in me. Asking why is he here like I shouldn't be. I've been on grind since I old. 10,000 hours the motto. They see the bag is coming out, they flocking to me like I won the lotto. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Thought they was scheming and said adios. Get it, don't mindset. Ay, back with a vengeance, back on the grinds, back to the business. Ay, God is my witness, they watching my moves like shows they binging. Ay, best keep distance, all of my haters send best the wishes. I get to the bag with the quickness, no I don't need no assistance. No. Yeah, no playing it safe. I said let's get it, you say not today. What can I say? You ain't gon' go for it, get out the way. Yeah, got no time to waste. Can't be with me if you're not at my pace. You're not at my level, you're not in my race. One foot on there's no recital, I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Thought they was scheming and said adios. get it, don't mindset.
Taking my pain away, nothing else more to say. Everything that I have, I'll give. First, you gotta pick a side. Now you got a team and you're rolling with the pride. Wanna play the game, make it to the end. I'm gonna bring it back again. I feel it inside. I'm reaching my stride. I'm standing my ground. I won't give in.
A recovery from Big. It's not much, but it is something. They now move on to the harder T side. Saw the Titan on Nuke, and they are proving thus maybe could make quick work of them here. It all begins with a pistol, as it so often does. Knife out in the vent. Why not? Seems like they are faking the drop down, but he's going to get it. He's going to get it. syrsoN. Oh, no, you've fallen into the trap. Unreal stuff. Now the rest of the team has to kind of ignore that and try and move down. Mutierus, as well as the kill, is also in the prime position to stop them crossing. He's going to do just that. Keeps the kills coming in. The power of the knife, the pistol ace on the cards.
Oh my, that's actually ridiculous. That's read like a book. They know exactly what they're going for. That is perfect. I don't think Crimbo, king of the clutches, sure, but no bomb, no chance. He hasn't got a clue here where they even are. Because they've already seen one player.
I know.
He has no idea where the rest are.
Unreal. Very rarely seen as well. Usually, you know, a pistol will like reveal itself on that angle and then everyone will just sort of jump across, especially in a pistol round, you know, try and ignore him, but they all took the fight. Crimbo does take him down, denying the ace. He's got to get this bomb back. Oh,
no.
Hold on a sec. Kills are coming in for Crimbo. This is getting problematic. Both of the CTs are split here as well. So for my money, maybe one more clean fight. Okay, they understand. They recognize they're going to give the bomb control back and not let this one really slip away. Molotov in. That does force the fight out. Crimbo wins it. You jerks is all that remains from the spot where Mutierus did so much damage earlier on. There's not a lot of time. He could still do this. Of course he's going to fake it out. And of course you jerks does not bite. There's still time to get the bomb plant in though. This is where you jerks might move. He opts not to. He is afraid of the clutch menace. That is Crimbo looking for an ace of his own here. Who wins out? It will be you jerks round the corner to deny, and he'll take a moment to relish in it too. Pistol won out by sAw, but it was no mean feat.
I cannot believe that Crimbo's got even remotely that close to a 1v5. That is ridiculous. Like we said, he has zero information about where they're set up. He has to clear every corner and every crevice going to make that possible, and they just feed in the fight. And the one main thing you have to look at there is the way in which sAw actually approached that. Yeah, credit to Mutierus. But this fight from him is great, but the way they approach after this, they allow him to isolate fights. They give him 5 1v1, and that's the worst way to go about it. Credit to you jerks. But my God, that was close. I mean, a sigh of relief, but he's done absolutely excellent in that instance. So credit to him.
Bro, he was around the corner. I'm sorry as well.
Exactly,
He was around the goddamn corner.
We all know it. Classic CS2. But one thing that is to mention as well is that as what is different to the norm, Big actually win more of their rounds on this map on the T side than they do the CT side. Whereas for sAw, it's basically evens. 51 to 49%, but it is a little bit more CT-sided. So for Big, that's the one thing going for them. They do feel a little bit more comfort on this T side, which is the opposite of how many teams feel on Nuke. So while the first half wasn't great, I'm not going to count them out just yet.
It's true. Pistol would have been absolutely fantastic, though. Springboard for them. They did get the plant. They did get this man making a lot of money, so he pulls the AK out where you least expect it, to be honest.
No kit in play for sAw, so just keep an eye on this. If this bomb goes down, it's going to put a little bit of pressure on this one here.
Rosdosh up top. Going to see the toes first. He comes off the angle, though, as the utility comes in. He's now second-guessing himself. Has to be sure of this one. They're ready for him, but like I say, he sees the toes. It's a really dangerous angle. That AK is going to go down. It will be immediately scooped up. Meanwhile, downstairs, what the hell's JDC doing down here? But Mutiris is on cleanup duty. Just 3 remaining. They will manage to find a kill. They may well have secured a bomb plant here as well, but syrsoN still up top. He's now only got a scout. He misses the shot. Ooh. He misses again, and Roman will see the round off ultimately. You jerks, an easy find. Could have been any of them. Double digits here for sAw on Nuke.
Getting close now as well to seeing this off bit by bit. They're starting to dwindle, unfortunately. This big roster. And credit to sAw, though. Another great round coming through on the angle there from syrsoN. He just knew what was coming, and he actually waits a little bit as well. He could have immediately panicked and shot at the feet, but he waits until a little bit more of the body showing so he can pepper them up, give them no ability to escape. So, great work. A lot of these rounds feel like they're dictated by whether syrsoN can get an opening kill. He's 4-1 on opening duels so far, which is really solid.
Yeah.
Rigon fell off silo the long way. He takes a lot of damage. Chunked up a bit by the nade, but he takes like 40, 50 points there. Yeah. By full damage, which is not what you want to see. That's just a bit of a panic. He flustered in that situation.
It's been a shaky game in that sense. A few unforced errors, I think, from Rigon. I'll leave it at that. The whole big squad have been struggling, of course, here with only 4 rounds. And it looks to continue. Rifles making quick work. MP9s looking for some money. The teeth grind to get a few more. Just down to Crimbo here. Oh, 10 HP. Oh. Spam down. No escape. No escape. So, barely a point of damage there done, I believe, as I caught the left-hand side of the screen. 11-4 now, big, I think. Knew this was going to be tough. Reality comes crashing down for them. Yeah, I got to say as well, syrsoN, he's a real joy to watch playing that A anchor position. You know, statistically, it's one of the worst places to play on Nuke. You don't get as much action. It's normally, you know, looking towards these outside players or even kind of playing in through mini. But I think he does a really good job. He's very good at adapting every single time. Slightly different position, whether it's rafters, Mustang, up and towards top pod, changing his angle on top pod as well. So, real good player to watch. If you wanted to improve your A holds, he's very good at keeping things active. That's a big nade. Real healthy one as syrsoN's down to 54. Not the way you want to start off. Mutiris, I like this. He's not committing to the fight, but he's just keeping the attention drawn. On the swing, though, he loses the aim jewel. Nade. Breaks the smoke. The gap was there. Story can't quite find the shot. Meanwhile, over at ramp, aggression coming in. There's damage done, but no frags. That is, of course, what we are all about here. So sAw on the back foot. Story could get caught quite easily. Wow. Lands that shot, however. Crimbo maybe thinking he had that position in the bag. Not going to be the case. And it swings back to even. But before I get the words out, syrsoN will take JDC up top.
And they might not expect you just towards back site itself. Very common to go play over towards single door here. And now he's known. He only gets a tag. syrsoN, who took so much damage from the nade earlier, is still alive somehow. This door might pop open in his face. Oh! syrsoN lines them up. That should be the round. No bomb plant for you, sir. And time starting to tick. 30 seconds. And even that would have been a luxury that Rigon isn't given. syrsoN, fortunate as ever, but that was clean.
It's getting hard now, isn't it? Big, I think, conceding the fact that this is just not their map, just not going their way. They start off strong. Crimbo does well. And then Story hits the crazy shot. Then there's a flank on the flank, you know. And this situation is difficult. They just can't quite get it.
In this situation, if you're the coach, if you're Kakafu, how are you bringing Big back into this?
I think it does have to be a realistic kind of look, right?
Sure.
This Inferno that's coming up next is obviously something that they must have been planning for. It's not made many officials recently. They've been saving it slightly. So just keep their heads in for that. Burst through the ramp smoke kit. Does find success 1 for 1.
I do like that, though, right? Rather than kind of going back to their default that hasn't been working, let's just group up and just try and take fights. Let's just go quick, change the pace a bit, and see if we can catch sAw off guard. Something they've actually struggled with all game.
Yeah, professional Counter-Strike, it is ultimately a game of 3 maps. So there's a lot of that energy coming into this kind of a round where they need to prove to themselves, to sAw, that they are a formidable opponent here. 4-on-2 save, in fact, for sAw, so we will have an extension of play.
Oh, save, question mark? Yes, just about for syrsoN.
Yeah, we call it like
never mind.
An active save, you know. There's plenty of money.
Yeah,
For
Story
him
will save.
in particular.
Yeah, don't want to reinvesting in towards that AWP. He'll just post up on the corner. And I think if you are big, right, this is the only way you can approach this sort of situation. Round by round, one at a time, and just hope, right? You can't look long-term here. You can't try and say, okay, let's... this is how we're going to get back towards overtime, and this is what we're going to do this, that, and the other. You've got to just look at it in a more micro sense of the scale. This round, this is what we're doing. Once we take the round, then we keep moving forward, break the economy, and that's the next steps for them. But yeah, I think the worst thing you can do is just try and think long-term here and say, right, we're going to push it towards overtime and try and go off hope alone. That was a good round, though. Big change up in terms of the pace from tabseN, good call, and they just go straight in towards the fights. And immediately off the back of it, we will get a tack pause coming through. Good opportunity as well for Barry to get on towards the mic and I guess just settle. If there is any nerves, just make sure, guys, don't worry. It's one round. We've still got 7 more map points in our favor. We're not under any pressure. I mean, primarily, this is about Kakafu and tabseN trying to combine heads here and try and figure something out.
I mean, this is one of the things as well. It feels like both coaches kind of know that you've got to use these timeouts. They also know that it isn't necessarily down to this map. You know what I mean? They just have to keep everything cool. On the sAw side of things, they respect that, okay, we need some momentum and we need a really, really emboldened position moving into map 2 and potentially map 3. Big, meanwhile, it is about, okay, look, we're playing this out. Ignore the score at the top. We might be able to mount something here, but don't get too emotionally involved quite yet.
Yeah, don't drain yourself here. We've got still the potential of a long series ahead of us. This one felt on paper from the get-go like it had 3 maps written all over it. Gutierrez has spotted the shadow there, so he knows he's wanting towards top part. Story trained on the angle, how quick's your reactions. Not quick enough, but he will be given at least a space to get away because they don't hunt him down.
No, it could have been some backup there. Don't want to take the risk. They've located the AWP as well, which is obviously a very important part of the CT defense. U-Jerks maybe spotted a crack. Maybe hearing a few footsteps. Still going to be a creep forwards here, but it is a 2-man setup. Double spray down for U-Jerks. He's lost some of his friends, however. The bomb has dropped in that spot, so it's awkward, to say the least. Story, a nasty surprise at the top of the ladder. He has revealed a couple. They will work their way through to eliminate the main contingent of Big. Just Crimbo is all that remains here. And he's not rushing for the bomb. I think it's smart. Unfortunately, couldn't win out the fight. The map goes the way of sAw. No huge surprises. Maybe a little flat from Big, you could argue, but sAw, they're all about Nuke. It is their map through and through. They've beaten some really, really serious teams on this one, and you can see the vibe's still good. JDC still got a smile on his face there, ready and waiting for the Inferno that's coming up next.
The grand final. Ancient is where we head now, and for Big, it was a lackluster shoving in towards map number 1. They need a complete turnaround here in map number 2.
Starting off towards A, it does seem like a fake utility setup here on the B site. sAw not really biting, might draw someone in from middle, but they're still pretty ready for the A hit. Shadow spotted now as well. Rosdosh up top. That's what the Julies can do. The quick switch across to the second. The bomb has spilled forwards as well. So decisions being made for Big. tabseN has acted upon his smoke hit. Made his way quite deep in towards B. So they've got the bomb. They're able to bail out. I think they should fully make it across. Bomb going safe. It will be JDC to hang around in middle. Muteris with the flick. Age, just a number for this guy as he lands a really nice shot. tabseN moving forwards though, finds 2, brings it into a doable situation here. He's done a lot of heavy lifting for the squad. Hiding away in the corner as well. The bomb still not planted, but it will be momentarily. I think sAw know what is up.
Wow.
Muteris out. Patience on the tabseN side. It's just going to be syrsoN now. He's actually not committed to the bomb plants. They don't even necessarily have that. syrsoN chasing this kill down. Feels confident for it. Muteris just tapping away, leaving him low. Eventually loses his head. But surely a winnable 1 versus 1 now for Story, you would assume. Plant will come in. Story not too close to the action, but a reset into this 1 versus 1 now.
I do like how syrsoN's now played this. He's planted open and he's gone to a position which, if he was going to go through A main, it would take a long way to rotate around. He knows he's got time to work with. His expectation wasn't originally done. Now he's put out Store and he's tagged him down low. syrsoN might just pull off the 1 versus 2 and a 3K overall, and he's playing time. That's good. Story doesn't have a kit. The question is, does he just stick this? I kind of like it. If he sticks, this is kind of genius. Gets off the bomb. Another tag going to come through as well, but time too far. syrsoN has run out the round, regardless of Story getting the kill. Big draw. First blood here on Ancient. And we've got to look at this map as well. You know, we spoke positively about Big and saying against Odic, they were fantastic. This is a map in which they played internationally to a good level. The same can't be said for sAw. They've had a couple of rough performances on this. You look back towards Clone, for example. 13-2 loss against Na'Vi was really difficult. Even before that as well, lost to the Mongols in overtime on this. And also as well, you know, they've got that one of Big, which maybe they might be looking back for to try and get in their favor. But results in general are a lot more spottier for sAw in this sense. And that's where it feels like Big have the advantages. The one man we're going to look towards is this man, JDC. Both on CT and T side, his elbow control was excellent against Odic, and he's looking for a similar type of performance.
Yeah, lovely warm-up game against Odic, it feels like, you know, so just tap back into that and you should have another ultimately fun time. There has been a trade back, though. Mutiris on this MP9 is going to be a problem later on in the round. They're banking on B here. sAw will, guessing correctly, but maybe Mutiris can stem the tide, slow them down. It's a tough angle. He gets pre-fired round. Rigon knows what's up. And thus, 4v3, probably a save with this bomb going down. They're nowhere near the action. May well look to take syrsoN's dropped weapon away. I don't know, though. You're not going to win this one, that's for sure.
Especially because this is a forced investment as well. Having this by, or at least 3 of them brought in towards the next, it's better than nothing. It's those small silver linings that we like to talk about, but I mean, we'll see. It's going to be big, though. 2-0 start. So far, only the 1 casualty as well. All that we want to see. For sAw, the way that they're going to find ways back into this, first step is trying to get some mid control on the CT side. Don't allow JDC to run riot. That's what he did, obviously, previously and has done for a while since coming in towards this big lineup, and it's what makes Big so scary there. Mid control on both sides is excellent. Once you've got mid, you've got like 80% of the map at that point, and all the decisions to make, all the quick rotations. So that's probably point number 1 for sAw, which needs to find, and then it's about getting proactive down ramp. We didn't see, for example, Odic recently in this tournament, they didn't do that enough. They didn't get the information on what shelf control is looking like and how this cave presence is over towards Big. So they're the 2 positions that I would look towards to try and take a bit of active map control and try and start some engagements in your favor. A, you can play a little bit more passive if you want to, and it's fine.
Nades out once again from JDC. Going to see a lot of him in towards this area. It seems, again, something that Big recognized as well. So already getting him used to this area, conditioning his opponents. May well go down here, trying to bail him out. Not going to happen. Story finds a double, thanks to some Kevlar as well to really keep him alive there. Bomb goes down in the meanwhile. May well be another save situation, to be honest, right? The Galils will help your case into the follow-up round. Story sticking about, can't get anything done. But yes, the Galils will make it into the next. It's a boost to the coffers. Although, that being said, Roman is quite close. Oh, why are we quick switching for no reason?
Yeah, that just felt
bad habit.
Habitual, right, exactly. Yeah, that was a habit for him there, just to be quick switching sort of for no reason. And yeah, unfortunately, it'll cost him his life. He, I don't know, even had the drop there, it did feel. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Aristosh will save with that 1 Galil. And they will have a full investment in towards the next 2, which is the main thing we want to see. But we have to see sAw come in towards this next round. And in the same way that it did towards Nuke very effectively, is set this tone. Don't allow Big to play their game. They didn't allow them to do that on Nuke, and they made them feel so uncomfortable, and that's why everything worked for them. They're going to do it again here. It does look like we're going to get a semi-early attack pause getting called in here, but I do like this by Barry himself, right? He wants to just have a conversation before we go in towards this next grand round. This is what we have to do. This is how we're going to find our ways kind of back in towards this map. And I think it's a good time as well. Get Mutiris on the mic too. The experience of Roman as well, but obviously we always look towards Barry himself, Bem Julio, as the Portuguese say. The boss of this side who's really helped them out. Big, I don't think they need to change up anything at the moment. Everything's going to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still early doors. It's still not really been too challenging for them. You know, these half buy, full buy, whatever you kind of want to angle them as, ultimate forces from sAw have not really threaten too much. This one looks pretty scary. A lot of nade damage there onto Rigon. Roman tries to find the timing. Somehow the bullets don't quite land. My goodness, Rigon is lucky to be alive. A Rozdosh will be overwhelmed in middle. Things look up for Big once again. Maybe the gods of Counter-Strike shining down upon them, wanting a 3-mapper out of this, as I think we all do. So a reapproach now from Big on the utility.
Materis, he's lined up and he starts tapping away. He's just breaking small little holes in the smoke, hoping to get a gap. Story did come off the angle, and as a flash comes through, he'll be wary of peeking back into this. This is setting up for a B hit, and only Roman's here. There's a move coming through mid as they now start to get red room control, but Roman is going to be isolated in a moment. This could be tough.
Yeah, man, the B bomb site doesn't really seem to be super favorable for sAw, it would seem. Roman does get one, a lot of damage onto another couple. I don't know if that was like a headshot through the body or if it was a team damage, but ultimately, room to find a frag, not gonna happen. Down to just Ujerks, he is in the thick of it here. Will be spammed halfway through that wood, not ideal, and indeed with no opportunities presenting themselves, he will back off, so. Interesting kind of setup, maybe some shift coming in from the Big default. Maybe Big didn't lean too much on B the last time these guys faced off. I don't know, it's strange. It is strange. A really, really weakly defended B bomb site. A good 2 or 3 rounds in a row now.
And it feels like for them, in that situation for sAw, it was about trying to reclaim mid control and then play as a bit of a split, but the timing was so off, unfortunately, because there was a smoke still dissipating over towards red room. It took them a while to actually get that mid control, and then Roman, like we said, just gets left isolated. This is good. Big are getting fired up. Exactly what we want to be seeing. I think at the moment as well for sAw, in a bit of a tough spot. We've got 1 M4 to work with, 1 MP9, and a few upgraded pistols. It's hopeful, to say the least, in this buy, but it's not a full buy. It's not a commitment. The expectation is Big take a 5-0 start.
Yeah, one would assume so. Maybe sAw can come alive in this round. They have now overcompensated at B, looking to sort of test the aggression, and it does find success. Materis on the 5-7 up close in Donut hit. They are ready for him. Got to check all these angles cleanly. The shadow does come in, but he can't find the frag still. That's pretty nice. One is good. tabseN, timing, just gets spotted. Low HP actually gets them both. That could have been huge, but it is unfortunately backfiring for sAw here. Roman remains alone, and tabseN takes him too. Huge round in from tabseN, the crowd on his side, and Big can't stop winning. Yeah,
that's quite unfortunate. I think syrsoN just panics a little bit there, and he shoots early. He shoots on sort of instinct, and he sees just a little pixel to work with, and just that alone sells the round. Unfortunately, they had the flank, and it what felt like a guaranteed kill. If they had just played discipline there, tabseN falls, and they get a gap to work with in via CT, but it's not to be. tabseN, great work. A good start as well. 5-1 out the gates for him. syrsoN 7-3. We're all about the ears a little bit, in particular tabseN. Ignite over, JDC will take a chunk and a second behind it too. He might be in a bit of trouble here, and yeah, the flashbang was perfect. JDC, unfortunately, no chance in that one. So an opening for sAw, and maybe one that they could wield in their favor, because Story catches one on the cross.
Yeah, it's a nice find, actually. Again, it's a really good read from Big. Every time sAw try and go for some kind of aggression, they leave gaps. They leave big gaps in their defense. Unfortunately, this time, that AWP was there to semi-fill them, and it's enough to scare Big into slowing down. Bomb's also been left in spawn. That's an oversight for sure. Smoke comes in. syrsoN, nothing he can do here. So I think it might just be one of those boring old saves. They've got plenty of money, but
yeah,
just feels unwinnable from here.
In a 2v5. I know, you know, Crimbo got 4 out of 5 in the 1v5, but this one, yeah, surely no chance. And I think, like you said, that slight oversight of leaving the bomb. I think if the bomb wasn't committed, well, I guess not committed by being left in spawn, they might have had decisions to be made here, but I think they're just going to shell up here. Keep hold of what they've got. One flash and a nade is not the best thing to try and hopefully keep yourself alive, but also up the crossfire. And it's going to be a bit of a slow 30 seconds as we see this one off. It will be sAw finally getting their first round on the board. It's, you can say it's been a long time coming, but they haven't actually been all too competitive in these rounds. This is the first one which feels like it's got just a bit of something behind it and could lead to a few more following it. because there's no casualties, they get to build up a little bit of an economy in the arrears, and that's what we want. Off the back of that first map as well, UJerks and Aristosh, both 18 kills apiece, had lights out performances. UJerks 110 ADR, Aristosh 95 ADR. So they both had a whale of a time. Crimbo didn't do too badly, 93 ADR for him, but still feels like a lot that needs to be done. That's a good start. That's the only way you can start. One at a time. Start building yourself up in towards this game.
That's the big shot, though. I think if Story misses that and doesn't reveal his presence, doesn't find efficacy with his presence, they would have just sort of crossed into a more open site before the rotations got in. So, big round, big impact. See what Big can find as a response. Boost coming in. UJerk seems ready for it. Maybe a barrel spotted up there. He will go back in. Clean peek. Dink lands. Is there anything else? Oh, I don't know about the re-peek there, sir. You'd already pulled off 2 or 3. Take the damage and get out. Roman ready and waiting for some kind of a boost or some kind of presence. Tabson, sir, nearly gets lost in the smoke. I don't think that was the intention. Molotov forces Roman back. Big have the upper hand, but this feels like a weird round. This feels very nervy from Big, in fact.
I like this from Aristosh, but the only thing is for him is that by doing this, he leaves Donut completely exposed.
Oh,
now he doubles back on the worst time. Surely Crimbo gets this one for free. He hears all the steps coming through Donut. Crimbo was spotted? Yeah, he was, but it doesn't make a difference. Crimbo, he had the drop, he had the number. However, Materis is still here in good timing. Good for one. Can't get the second as Rigon responds. And that should be the round, surely. A 2 versus 4. Yes, it's been damage dealt, but this asks a hell of a lot. Story can't hit the shot on the cross. Bomb now will be planted. No, I speak too soon. How is Story given the luxury of getting out? How has Story got 2? Big have completely fallen apart. The communication is all over the place. And it's now down to a 2 versus 2. Story misses, but still alive. JDC might be all that's left in a moment as Crimbo is low.
That is messy. It is brave from both sides there. Even the peek in from Crimbo to try and fight the AWP that's just dropped 2 of your teammates. Really, really dangerous stuff, but the risk, it does pay off. Roman trying to isolate some fights here, just trying to discover anyone, really. It's
no kit.
Not happening. No kit available. He loses out his initial fight anyway. It's so damn close. If only he dropped the main player, he could have played a bit faster. So that is tough, I would feel, for the sAw side of things. They cannot get themselves in the groove here. Something just kind of slipping up. Pretty sure this might be another timeout here as they figure themselves. Yeah, it's that re-peak, man. You know, just got to relax slightly. They're feeling too, I don't want to say confident, but just like they have to do something, especially after how things went down on Nuke and how effective that was for them.
It's one of those where there's a time and place to get active like that for UJerks, but once he gets the initial damage, I think in his mind he's like, I'm so low.
Yeah,
you know, anything I connect with is a kill there, but I don't think you need to. And that's where you do look towards discipline and do look towards him trying to be reined in a bit. He's actually a really, really solid anchor over towards that side. He's definitely, you know, for people looking to improve, on specifically the B side, he's definitely one to look at. He's very, very good at playing around that pillar position in particular, but yeah, I don't think he needs to peek there. I just think because he dinks him in his mind, he's like, all right, let's just finish it off. And yeah, that panic actually does cost them, not, I wouldn't say the round, but it cost them a lot of space. 1-for-1 trades early. JDC and Materis both get in the action in the early part of this. UJerks, look at the ramp progression though. He's maybe not learned his lesson, or maybe learned to get up in their face. 1, not the second. A little labored. Rigon gets 2.
Roman needed that. Roman needed that to keep the hopes alive. It still is possible. Story's got the AWP set on the site. There is a very quick flank coming in. They don't seem to be giving any credence to. The bomb, of course, has been dropped. A quick check, but it's kind of lazy from Crimbo. A tough angle for him to work from as well. You know, dropping down on the ramp, I guess, whatever you'd call that. Materis keeps on going. Brave once again. That seems to be the word of the map thus far. Story drops syrsoN, and there you have it. sAw may have had a round in the previous that sort of crumbled for them. Big have also made a few mistakes to let that one slip.
Yeah, in a weird way, that's one of those rounds that it felt like sAw don't deserve. It's actually just Big have completely lost that. Big had that in their hands, and I think they call for the pause, which isn't a bad idea, but they just don't expect him to keep pushing through spawn, which, for the confidence of him, It worked, so...
I got that one, Vamos.
Vamos, yeah, I like that one. Well, they're going to need to get hyped up as well, and that's a good round to take. 6-2. This map at one point was the most CT-sided map in the pool. Not so much anymore. It's very puggy. And Ujex likes to fight. There's 2 for him. Drive by with the MP9, and Roman gets one more. 1v3 in a matter of what, 10 seconds?
Yeah, man. I mean, Big trying to answer back in an angry way. Use that frustration positively, and unfortunately, it doesn't go well for them.
Crimbo's stomping his feet through the water.
Yeah, he's angry. He's angry. I think also, you know, a few players sort of trying to test it, right? They seem to have worked on, although I believe we're on the old patch, aren't we, actually?
We are. We are on the old patch. Not the patch with the armory update, as they call it.
And sort of the water was one that crept in, right?
Yeah.
But I'll kill that point. It doesn't matter. Still, water makes noise or whatever. as it should.
Yeah.
You know? But they don't know. Where the hell's Crimbo?
Ben.
No idea. They've just found him, though. They have just found him.
They've still got the bomb, though, so that's the main thing. And the other thing is that time's now starting to tick, but Crimbo, king of the clutches, right? He's got one of the highest clutch win percentages. You never want to count him out, especially not after how close he got in the 1v5.
Yeah, this one doesn't look too good for him, though, unfortunately. They've got full control of the bomb. They know where he's at. It's hard for him to find, like, a sneaky route in. So he has to really defy the odds, really just slam the heads. And that can be easy when you know where players are at, right? You get the pre-fire, you take your second, and you just sort of line everything up in your head and synapses. But if you are just clearing the angles, you have to pick one way or the other. So he doesn't fancy it, which, again, always feels strange from this guy. Oh, get off. Get off of that. I don't want to see it, mate. I don't want to see it.
You naughty boy.
I don't want to see it.
Rein it back in, Sunshine. We've got a game to play it.
He's thinking, he's pondering, you know? That's the Jame way. It clears the mind.
And the sinuses of 6-3 for sAw. As they start to chip away at the deficit briefly. They could get 7-5 or 6-all would be a real luxury. But if they can get 5 rounds here after what was a 6-1 start, I don't think that's the worst place to be in the world. They'll take a recovery like that. Crimbo's the only one for an investment. It's about to be met with a HE as well. Actually just goes a little short there. 1 AK, 1 Deagle, 1 P250. The only one with armor is Crimbo. So if he falls as well, it's not exactly like someone's the priority to take in. None of them got armor, so it's just, do what you can.
Lane control for Big comes nice and easy. Doesn't really seem like there's much argument from sAw. They will potentially send Muterius in quite late. Lovely idea. The boost comes in. And a keen headshot on that AK. Exactly what you want from the AK as well. So that's a nasty angle for Muterius to deal with. It's the first kill that comes in. You don't know what is on the other side as well, right? You've got this saved AK. Have they bought around it maybe? Have they gone for a risky move? So, your approach here from the sAw side is obviously very, very different. No one out on A for the CTs right now.
I guess the only thing they've heard of Deagle, so that in their head they might maybe like a Deagle armor buy, right?
Yeah,
so they might think it's like some sort of investment here. You can see that's why initially they're playing quite timid. Crimbo should get the advantage. He will. Story gets the trade, but they're giving Crimbo opportunities.
Yeah, and they've left the AK isolated as well to just softly, tacitly sell a fake. The bomb itself is actually going towards A. They do have an advantage still. There's no armor on the remaining 4. JDC does get a catch. What is that second kill? He just spun around and absolutely slammed Roman. It's all going to be on Story, 2 on the USP. He's now probably discovered that they've not got armor, so maybe if he can get his hands onto an automatic weapon, he is singing, but this is not going to be easy. Oh, don't tell me. He's giving it up. He's giving it up. That's a little wild, a little wild. Still, we are playing this super tense game right now. Would have loved to see him go for that 1v4. Doesn't happen, and Big, with almost 0 investment, have nicked away a 7th.
Yeah, that was an eco. You have to call it as that. We can't even give it the title of a hero AK because it was a saved one. So they've just lost to an eco, which for sAw is not good, but it's great for Big. Really well played. I mean, JDC's basically won it for them there. It felt like even when the bomb goes down and whatnot, it's still a lost round because they just win off the retake. But JDC does excellent work. Gets one, quick 180, head on a swivel as he gets the second. The boost is brilliant for 1. It's a good way to kind of get that AK active. But it's this fight here. That is just instinct. He must have heard the step as well as he jumped off, but I mean, even he's having a chuckle about it. He knows how crisp that was, like duck hunting as he plucks him out of the sky. But Story says, we're not done just yet. Nice opener from him. And the buy around it is very, very funky. Quad MP9.
Yeah, maybe speaks to, again, trying to pull off some aggression, some close angles. We'll mention Story, despite the 3 rounds for sAw, is looking really good here. Again, a player on this sAw team took time to get in to this position. He also started off on like a 3-month stint, you know, and then they removed him. Right? It ultimately, I don't know what was going on there. We don't know the behind the scenes, but that definitely feels like he came in, he wasn't quite ready, he wasn't quite mature enough or something along those lines, and they just got tried and true Stododo back. But since around 2022, they've added him in and he's looked really, really solid.
Yeah. Another one of those players as well who could really benefit from Berry too. He's worked with a lot of pretty good but no, Arish Dosh, he had the drop. He could see one, but tabseN's holding for it in JDC. There's no way in hell Story thinks about this. Plays disciplines, he waits for a second, but it doesn't come. Gutierrez gotta go huge here. Gets spotted out by Crimbo on the AWP. As Roman answers back for one. This may be a temptation to save here, for being completely honest. The AWP's on the crack angle. And I think of how low Roman is, and with now an AK in his back pocket, let's just keep hold of what we've got. But this is the awkward thing. sAw are just going for constant saves, and at some point, you start to think in your mind, did we just give one of these a go? And this felt like a decent one to potentially even give it a go. They only just got that bomb down, or even the one earlier where Story got the 2 in the 1v4, and he knew they didn't have head armor. But unfortunately not to be. Big locked themselves in towards 8. We had an 8-4 half in favor of sAw in the first map, and we might get it on the other way, or maybe even worse.
Potentially. I think Big have definitely done their homework on this map, it looks like to me, right? As you mentioned, they've played off against each other before. Big on the negative end of that, you know, and it can be difficult to deal with. That was a while ago, I suppose. That was at the sAw Cinderella story at Cologne, the very start of it.
Wasn't it? It was a massacre, 13-5. It was like, I think very much so, they've been like, we can't let this happen again. And
yes.
I actually feel like as well, with how well we saw them play against Odic, I know obviously it's not really the greatest sample size or the greatest team, no offense to Odic, but it is one of those where they've obviously changed up a lot recently to make this map a stronger part of their pool.
Definitely feels that way. Roman's got to deal with a couple early on. He takes one. Meanwhile, in towards middle, they will find success. Aggression, stores, textbook MO looking good. Just kills all over the place right now as it's almost like a pug on Ancient. You said it had stepped up in that sense, but a change up ultimately from both teams. Bomb going to go down. Crimbo's still healthy and still in the post plant, still in the clutch situation, especially if tabseN can't oversend here. Gutierrez does creep through the smoke, looking around, getting some information. tabseN stood well to find one there. Really well timed. Will get traded down to just Crimbo. He has crept away into cave. Will they expect him? Footsteps heard. Clean frag for the first. It's a 10-second hold. Surely not, says Crimbo. No. It doesn't look like he's thinking about it at all. Going to try and pick up the pace towards the very end and will indeed deny him off. He's got the sense of timing down. 9-3 at the turn of the half. Let's see how this one pans out. Big could not give us a recovery on that first map. A pretty flat showing from them on Nuke. Much better here on Ancient. Can sAw keep the dream alive? They have defeated this very opponent on this very map, so we shall see. Something has changed in the water for Big for sure. All starts with a pistol. All starts with Mutiris taking that first fight. Roaming will drop to Rigon, as does a Rozdosh. The ramp presence is problematic. Rigon comes in from the side and slams them down. One-man army. A quiet first half, maybe not required. He's denied the ace, as we keep getting teased with these aces in this series. But Mutiris, of course, has got 4 more to get through.
Yeah, big ask. Can he do what Crimbo got so close to doing, but ultimately failed in Nuke? It's exactly the same position, too. And no, is the answer. tabseN shuts them down at just 1. And it will be Big. I mean, that is masterful from Rigon. Really, really crisp shots coming through from him. Like you said, quite a slow first half, but he picks his time to come alive. He was bottom of the scoreboard before that, now lies second. So now 1 round can completely turn you. Yeah, exactly. Those shots are so clean from him. He's loving life, loving it. Big up to 10 already. So no real buy-in towards this one. I mean, Big realistically should be up to 11. They're essentially in reaching distance of pushing that towards a Vertigo, and even more one-sided than map 1 was.
Crimbo ready and waiting for the Stampede to come his way. A little difficult. Contact flash is in. It sort of blinds a few too many. Ooh. They will manage to get 1 down here, but the Julies of Crimbo finding 3. Some lovely flashy rounds out here from the pistols, but also, of course, Big. It does feel the gap getting wider and wider. Really gone to great lengths for that sign. Comedy gold.
Spent way too much time on that. 2 hours last night getting ready for this game.
Respectable, though. Jokes are funny.
Cheers, mate. 11 is where we find ourselves now. And Matt, I mean, this is just being so one-sided. sAw have offered up really nothing. We get in towards his tack pause as well in a moment of, I guess, brief respite from what has been a really tough game for sAw, an opportunity for Berry again to enter the conversation and try and help this side out. But, you know, on the other side of a Kakafirm, he's probably got one of the easiest jobs in the world at the moment. Basically just reiterating, keep your head down, stick to the game plan. We're so close. Let's push this towards a 3rd. Let's give the people in Atlanta a game they want to see. Getting ready for that grand final. Great work with the Julies there. 2 pistols, 3 kills. Easy as that. Potentially could be the last full buy out for sAw. We'll see. Story starts well, and Ujer gets quickly in towards the A side. He gets a lot of mileage on this D side, and this is a prime example of it. He's going deep in towards Temple.
Yeah, really quite deep. They have moved fast here. Not ready at all. sAw back with a vengeance, as Big did, trying to start their campaign. It would be a hell of a thing if they could complete it. They certainly are indeed capable. Mutiris hanging around, grabbing exits, but not going to happen. 0 exits, in fact. So we'll confirm they are saving at the very least. Big have to concede. Big have to respect, though.
Yeah, fair play. Change in tempo. sAw, get up in their face, rush on towards that A site, and that'll be that. Story gets that first. It's just Ujer actually just goes so deep in towards the site and make sure there's no real way they can get back into it. So you can really ask. It's a good way as well to try and get around in your favor, a tempo shift like that. An upgrade from the Galil to the AK as well at the tail end, just as a cherry on top. Only the 1 casualty on Mutiris, so a really solid round all in all. For Big, no, not worried. They're not under too much pressure. They still get the full buy coming right back in towards the next, but very simple. All in all, 2 kills basically conclude it as simply as that. JDC lucky in a way that he turns around as he's jumping up. Stays alive. Up in play for syrsoN here. FAMAS for tabseN, and then the M4s across the bay. You notice that JDC was in particular very good here in towards mid. Another prime showing another opening kill for this man. Now 4-1 in opening duels in this game thus far.
Replenishment of the nades. It is a lull in play here as sAw try and figure out how to get themselves just in the competition, really. Not looking good. Third map surely going to be required. We felt through and through it was a 3-mapper. Deserved of it. 2 one-sided first couple of maps. And that is, I suppose, what you and I are in for. But hopefully the third brings something quite exciting, quite tantalizing indeed. syrsoN hidden up in the corner. This looks like a really good setup, to be honest. They've got 4 on B as well, ready to go.
Oh, don't clear him.
Yeah, he gets half checked. Story trades it out. It's a lot of damage done. Not looking good here. 12 on the horizon. U-Jerk's getting a couple thanks to the Molotov as well. He's unfortunately unable to do anything else. It's all going to be down to Story. The spam, the smoke. Yeah, really dangerous for him to stick around there. Unfortunately, that'll be 12 secured. Big right back to their winning ways, and man, sAw have just not been in this Ancient at all.
Yeah, I have to say as well, I think tabseN's really read into sAw there as well. They've got a default that they like to do where they throw 1 molly over towards Pillar and 1 smoking towards short. tabseN reads it and rotates everybody off the other side over towards B. He knows that's where they're trying to finish it. That's how they like to play, especially when they go down to 4 players. They group up and they play as a pack, and tabseN's read it like a book there. He knows what they're going to do. They drag everybody over, leave 1 player in towards red room as an insurance policy just in case they try to late round double back. Smart play. JDC this time doesn't go aggro, tries to play passive, but gets mollied immediately. And Materis makes sure to clean up the kill. Blind, but you take him all the same. Rigon, he's made noise, he's gone active with the smoke. Does he expect U-Jerks up close here? This Macton at this range could be deadly. And it is on the drive-by, gets his. I don't think we're done just yet.
Potentially not. Potentially not. There is still room for recovery. The bomb is not really dedicated to a particular side just yet. So if guessing correctly, Big could hold them off. tabseN's got 2 to get through. Shadow there. He's so close to the double kill. That would have been everything. They still are going to be walking into the den of the AWP, but he's somewhat alone. A late activation from Materis as well. Could be very dangerous indeed. syrsoN's got to guess correctly. Bomb still not dedicating in just yet. sAw very, very, very nervy, just trying to sell some kind of a fake. syrsoN bested up close. The bomb is headed towards Crimbo for a second. Might not be in the end. Again, they're just trying to really confirm where is this last player. They've decided B is clear. They've decided we'll take the bomb there instead. They don't want to lose anyone. They are firmly sold on the comeback train.
Yeah, I think Crimbo saves her as well. There's no point. 1v4. Keep hold of the AK. They won't really get a buy-in towards the next round either, so this should be at least a bit of a brief break from what has been quite a painful map so far for sAw. Get a 5th now, should get a 6th as well. Even though they don't have a great long-term economy, they've already had 1 casualty, so they buy back in, no issues. Roman's really struggled to get active in this game. 4 and 13 for him. He's kind of desperately trying to be that first man in and just actually basically give space for people like U-Jerks and like Story, for example, but he's been struggling individually. Crimbo, he'll just keep hold of the AK. And I guess the KD's 18 and 3, in all fairness. It's not a bad stat line to hold at the moment. Just over 100 ADR as well. 100.2 at the moment.
That's 100 ADR where I come from.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's just over. We're being real technical here. But yeah, you're spot on. Alrighty. This one, like we said, there just isn't really the funds on hand here. I don't think this is the sort of round where we want to be force buying around an AK. The only, I guess, opposite side to that is we have so many rounds to work with for Big that they may just be like, well, let me gamble here. But I think the general way you play this out is that you kind of just low buy this and buy next. And yeah, that's what we get. A Deagle out for Rigon.
Oh.
And, well, JDC's quickly clipped early in towards that one as Materis will find his.
Gotta be careful here. They have crossed in. He gets dinked out. Crimbo is not checked for, not thought of. The AK really does have to pop off from this position. Nice pickup from a Rozdosh. I think, unfortunately, yes, the AK still exists, but he's got no one around him to help out. They're also, again, maybe looking to go elsewhere. Maybe if players come towards me, it also becomes a mission of like, I'd kind of like to keep the AK, you know? So
yeah.
He's not getting super proactive over in Jag. The Deagle lets us down. So just Crimbo remaining. sAw will get themselves 6. Still so much to do, but it is looking better and better.
It's true. It is true. Bit by bit, they're giving us at least the pathway of how we're going to get back in towards this map.
Oh.
Hang on, though, yeah.
Wait a minute.
They might overhunt a little bit. He has a kit.
He's got a kit.
He's got a kit. He's got a flash. That jump, I don't think would have been hurt, but his back turned and gun barrels spotted. Oh, Roman does step himself, but it will be the kill taken. Sigh of relief, I think, for a second there, but...
That's so close as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if he hadn't have seen the barrel, if he'd been tucked in a bit more, I think potentially the kill and then, you know, panic defuse or something like that.
Thankfully, not to be. That would have been a really embarrassing way to lose the map as well.
It's never nice.
Never being alive in this. Yeah, 1v5, you don't fight as well. That would be quite funny. But not to be. For Big, money is still just pretty uncomfortable. Just a low buyout, 5-7s. At this range, though, that is prime potential for JDC to line them up. We're not getting ecoed, surely not. 2 AK scooped up. A Deagle and a P250 alongside them. What is that swing from U-Jerks as well? He's gone alone. There's no need to fight like that, and Arishdosh left all alone. And a 1 versus 3, which feels impossible at 13 points of HP. How have sAw let this one slip?
Not looking good at all. I think it is indeed over. I think that Vertigo will be required here. Big certainly got their minds in the next map they have for a couple of rounds. But yeah, man, just going wild and catching sAw off guard, who look indeed frustrated. The U-Jerks move, you know, got to do something. And just not been their map. Doesn't quite make sense. Feels like it should be with the history these teams have. A is somewhat open, and syrsoN will take the bomb over here. Should be able to plant. And they maybe don't recognize that he does have the bomb. Slow move around. Crimbo will start to give it a bit of a look through Temple. Could actually deny the bomb plant with where the timing's gone here. syrsoN can't believe his look, you know. He's trying to clear some angles and also find a kill. That's sort of what you want to do. Thin the numbers before getting said bomb down. Plant comes in, and Crimbo will take him. So Big managed to find it. Third map is indeed going to be secured here. Expectant now, I think it is safe to say. A very one-sided affair, but for both teams flipping across. Very, very strange kind of game state. Not super close, super cutthroat quite yet. Vertigo, will it set itself up for that? It's difficult to say.
It is. You know, last time, Besto on to the side. Who is moving forward onto the grand final? Who moves from a prize pool of 10K to 20 or potentially 50,000 US dollars? One map decides. Could even be at the bare minimum doubling your prize pool. Not bad story. In the flames as well as he was flashed off. They will take this control, but U-Jerks for the first. The tap through as well. JDC does take a tag, but the bomb goes down. This is scrappy as tapsON gets one. The answer back from U-Jerks as well. A very quick pistol, and U-Jerks continues to tear. tapsON gets tapped, and they look for more as well. Runs out of ammo. Mutiris bails him out, and Roman cleans it up. It's wild, it's wacky, but it's sAw who draw first blood.
They absolutely needed that as well. It started off very, very negatively into Ancient. So a good pistol here, a clean pistol, and uncontested pistol is a fantastic send. They will indeed take it. They're able to buy themselves a bit of breathing room for a moment or two. U-Jerks really starting off well. I honestly thought like it was going to be quite a good decision from Big. They pushed a lot of players forward into the face of that CT side. There was just no one there really, and they left their flank exposed. Plant means a buy. Galil out for JDC. Beyond that, there's not an awful lot. They've opted to lean on the utility instead.
By a very small margin, Big find more rounds on their T side generally, so you've got to hope for this to be pretty solid out from them. Obviously not the start they want, and maybe not the follow-up either. First is actually going to go the way of Big, though. A lot of damage dealt, and the nades do rain in for some more. Diving into the flames as well. It's a wacky one, but yeah, Crimbo gets away with it, and they might be winning a round.
Goodness me, what is going on here? They have not slowed down. They've not stopped holding W until the bomb gets planted. They will win out the force buy, and that's a pretty decisive showing as well. This is going to be a scrap, isn't it? No one really pulling any punches onto this third and final map of the semi. Really, really solid stuff. And yeah, there's not much to it. They just burst out mid, catch the players off guard and keep on going, keep on rolling. Not very big-like at all. This is a map, really interestingly, and maybe I'm reading into things a bit deep here, but of course, Rigon comes across from Guild, from B&E, and at one time, they were very, very formidable on this map because of the energy and the aggression. I think it's just a very simple thing that maybe Rigon has spoken to them about, that it's like, look, if we're going to play this map, we have to come in with pace. We have to come in with firepower. The aforementioned Rigon will lose his head right at the start of this one.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit too much pace for him in that one as he does get caught. It is a force buy back in for sAw, but they just don't bring a lot, unfortunately, to play with here. Great pistols. Oh, and a nice shot from Crimbo as well. Materis gets cleared. That's good as well. Control and a nice smoke, which Crimbo doesn't actually have to act off. It's actually trying to bait the other way and try and force sAw into a move as they're trying to counter him, but patience could be a virtue.
Smoke goes down, covers the cross. They don't seem too frightened by it. They will still send the attack forwards. JDC just creating a bit of space here. rosdosh in at Gen. Good angle for him. Not the best weapon, though. Big damage. Secures it. Still being kept even. Bomb not really got a clear path to the site. It's Crimbo in at middle that is running interference right now. rosdosh goes down. They can continue moving forwards, and well recovered there by Big. It felt like a pretty good spot for those pistols. Not going to be the case in the end, but my God, this is not slowed down. There's not really been any time to breathe here for any of us.
Yeah, that's a massive one, though, from Crimbo in particular, because what he does there, gets that first, drops the smoke, and then he just doesn't move the rest of the round, and they come to him, and it's exactly what we were saying. He's waiting to bait fights that are in his favor, and he just sits tight in towards mid, and one by one, they peek him from exactly the same angle, and he'll take a quad kill for free. So well played indeed. Big take a lead, and they should add more to it in just a moment as well. As we mentioned, there's been no respite in this game thus far. Rigon's made noise. He's just been tickled by the flames. He's under pressure. How is he still alive as well? And how is he getting killed? He should have been dead a long time ago, but even getting away with one there felt like it was never going to happen.
Nice cleanup in the end from Crimbo on the AK. Takes them all down. No saving coming in.
9-1, dude.
Yeah, he's flying, mate. He's flying. Big round in the previous as well, so
yeah.
Great showing. Really, really great showing. Again, so aggressive, man.
Yeah.
These teams are just fighting it out. We do see a lot of squads. Maybe we'll start to see it when the rifles come out, but they like a good tit-for-tat nade throwing here or there, just not really showing any presence, keeping you entertained on ramp, and then they'll end on B. That's fairly common. Feels like something that Big would enjoy, but not the case, man. AWP is out for syrsoN. No AWP on that CT side thus far.
Very true. Little bits of util for the CT side. Not a full belt, but a first fight, which goes well. Story delivers, he swings, and he'll shut down Crimbo in that red-hot form and limit him at nothing in this. Huge jerks. He might have actually spotted the pixel just through the gap in the top there, and that could work in his favor. He doesn't want to over-peek here, but he might stick around, because that Molotov, I don't think it spreads in his direction. Roman, good for one, and oh, Story and Roman combined for more. JDC left all alone, and he was just known over towards B stairs, so this round's done, and it might have been done flawlessly too.
He's going to look to save for a minute here. I don't know whether he will get the opportunity to do so. They're definitely going to be after him. The explosiveness continues on Vertigo. There he is, caught by the business end of Materis' M4. We've got some sAw fans too. We got some sAw fans too. So all to play for. The crowd behind everyone, the energy in these halls has been stepping up throughout the day, and I think it will culminate in the final. Both squads want to be there. Both squads maybe feel like they need to be there to call this a successful tournament. Yeah,
you know, it's for Big. It's about kind of reclaiming that former glory of being a solidified tier 1 team and a fearsome team on the international scale. And it's, for sAw, it's about proving that they deserve that ranking, you know, 8th in the world currently, and they deserve to be considered tier 1. Right now, even despite their recent performances and heroics at Cologne, for example, and even previously in the year, qualifying to the lands via Blast, right? It's still where the general consensus for a lot of people is that they're not quite there yet. They maybe don't have as much on tape, and I guess the silverware alongside it, which does give you that mantle. They can take the ESL Challenger Atlanta. That would be a huge way to shut the doubters, but JDC, good for one. Irish dodge as well. He's dancing around. Oh, he nearly gets a second from Gen.
JDC keeps it coming, though. It's U-Jerks at the back end. There's just so many bodies. When you kill one, two more spawn. U-Jerks continues fragging, 3-piece for him. Crimbo, 9 and 2 in the clutch. This is exactly the recipe that he wants. That bomb is in on the B-bomb site already. Job has been done in that sense. He just needs one of these kills quickly. Playing it patiently.
No util here, so from basically either side bar one smoke on Roman. This is going to be raw gun duels.
This is so hard to win, though, honestly. He's been somewhat spotted out on the stairs as well. But yeah, approaching B with no utility and no information. So many angles for you to get double swung from. Not much he can do there. Doesn't land the keen headshots. Sure will indeed shut it down.
Alrighty. We're back. Tied square. 3 apiece. And while obviously Crimbo came out the gates flying, U-Jerks had his moments as well. That double kill in particular was very important. And the third behind it that he nailed as well. It's just what U-Jerks can do. I mean, those two go head-to-head. Young star riflers who can get very much in your face. And yeah, prime example of it. So, wonderful work. All tied square, but unfortunately for Big, funds have run dry off that strong start. So no real investment here. We got a couple of the Eagles. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, nothing much to speak of. Maybe just trying to send the feelers out there. Bit of chit-chat into the next round, I would have thought, as well, from the team here. Hanging around at the bottom end of ramp. Slow encroachment forwards. Crimbo could get a catch, and he will. Any more for any more. U-Jerks is around. It's a dangerous spot to be in. He does well to find that spray down setup move. Serious here, and the nade maybe helps him out, but they will indeed secure it. No sweat off the brow. sAw now in the lead.
Yeah, all right. This is good. So, if they can take this gun round, they're going to set themselves up for a very strong CT half hit on this Vertigo. That's exactly what you want, especially considering the one thing that let them down was that really slow, start in towards Ancient that never really got going at all. But, a 9-3 half is very difficult to return from. So we do see what may, to some, feel like a bit of an early tack pause, but I think it's a perfect time to have a conversation. You could tell that Big were sort of doing the tack pause about calling a tack pause in that previous round as they bought a bit of time down towards that lower ramp, but now they can get the coach involved. Kakafu, he can, I'll say join in on the mic. He looks like he'll just leave it up to tabseN in this one, but on the other side, we could see that Berry was getting very vocal. He knows how important this is. You get this next gun round, you can lock in a couple in a row and actually get to the point of solidifying this half despite how the rest of the rounds go.
Okay, let's see. Big have to find a return here. I feel the pace has been so high, the stress levels just unbelievable in this game, man. Trying to track everything, follow where all the fights are going down. It's getting wild, and this is how sAw like to play. This is a realm in which they are familiar. tabseN left on 30 HP. There's not a lot of the German contingent that remains. Roman in and around default does go down, but they're just all so ready for it. tabseN alone. Bomb plant is going to be difficult. Winning the round out feels impossible. Orb swapping in between the angles. Leg spotted. Does get the pre-fire and finds the head. He's got this flank coming in, though, and it's just all about where these players are at. tabseN trying to play things nice and slow and clinical. He's going to throw the smoke down and actually goes moving through it himself. May well have been heard. He's been seen in the gap. Unfortunate, the old Vertigo, you never know what might have happened, but not here, not today. sAw win out another clutch.
Yeah, nicely done. That is big as well in the sense that they don't get a bomb plant out of it either, so they don't really, again, have that money to fall back on. They've got a bit of loss bonus, sure, but that isn't a very, very important round taken by sAw. And I like the way in which they're playing it as well. We saw them a little bit in towards that previous map where it did feel like they're just a tad bit timid in terms of some of their engagements. This time, they're taking the fights to them. The perfect way to play Vertigo as well. Get up in their face, don't allow Big to set up and take map control and then make a decision in the mid to late round, which we know tabseN loves. How important we can see by not there for Big. Not expecting a lot out of this. There's some armor to go around, but in the case of syrsoN, who wants money for the AWP, he has nothing, and head armor, a luxury that JDC and Rigon can't afford. So that makes those M4s very scary in particular. They are looking back over towards ramp, and Roman here to meet them. Behind that smoke, they wait though, and a Molotov will slow them down if they wanted to go to short. He knows his lineups, he gets his tag.
Bit more damage done as well through the tarp here. On the right lines. Ooh. Got the right idea. Will get overwhelmed. Got to be careful peeking into this one. The Deagles can turn the tide quickly, and they do so. Ooh, this is dangerous. Armor is there, of course. syrsoN's found himself an AK. May not quite realize it yet, again, with just how fast everything was. Crimbo, another headshot lands. The Deagles taking over and leaving a Rozdosh in the impossible situation. Recovery required. A really big round. If Big can get it, and they will, the drop comes in. JDC from behind. A huge find for Big.
Wow, that is huge. That is a huge round to be taken. A minimal investment. Armor, like we said, was even something that syrsoN couldn't go into, and he gets a couple of really important shots that rain off, and Crimbo shot on towards backside with a beaut. Even for syrsoN here, I mean, these are some quick shots of the Deagle. He doesn't have armor, basically one tag, he's a dead man walking, but brilliant work. What a round to take. What a round to try and flip the script as well. It looked like sAw were going to lock in a 6th there, lock in the guarantee at a tie game at the bare minimum, but the way they were playing, potentially even a couple of more behind it. Not this time. Big aren't done just yet. They want to get a solid T-side. We said statistically their T-side as well is one for them, which they have a little bit of favor on. A slight bit, it must be said, but who knows? Once again, another pause that comes through. Another opportunity to just converse. I think primarily it's sAw and want to utilize it, especially after losing a round like that. You can get a little bit tilted, a bit of head loss after losing against Deagles.
It is true. It is true. You also have to accept it happened.
Yeah.
And it's early enough in the game. Be thankful the reverberations are not going to be that big.
Yeah. Nade and smoke over towards top stairs. A slower one here, though. I mean, we were saying it was lights out from the get-go in towards this map. But when the guns come out, it'll go back to a bit more of a default style of Vertigo, where it slows down and it's about kind of creeping your way forward, playing off the back of these rotations. You try to get some advantages to work with. You chip them away bit by bit. Like that, a story takes a significant amount of damage to the HE.
Really big round here. I think if sAw can shut down what's happened in the previous, then again, it may not matter. It'll be a round that's forgotten. If not, it could be the linchpin moment of this first half and of this semi-final even. So both teams feeling that. Both teams know how important this one is. The difference in atmosphere compared to the previous round is really palpable. Shaping up towards B. 30 seconds remain. Story is low, but he's close to the action. There's another flash available here. Rozdosh going to get it down. Story does not move on it. U-Jerks has got the M4 looking to cut off the mid players. Not going to happen. Story is somewhat alone here. One walks into his crosshair. One is not going to be enough. Roman's left to do it all. He's found two in this 1v4. They're still a little panicked. There is an AWP in the mixture. The Molotov is late. He works his way through, can't find that kill, and that was, of course, the big moment. Does not happen. And now the conversion for Big happens. They've evened things up. And it's still all to play for. sAw, however, the big thing is the money that goes missing now.
Yeah, just ran out of ammo when it mattered most as well in that M4. Gets the first two, which is so good, but limited magazine there. Nice response as well. They split through mid. Rigon, I think, does very, very important work despite falling at the tail end of it. Like you mentioned, sAw, the buy, not there. The same problem Big had earlier. And they don't even get the luxury of the Eagles as Big had in the round that they converted. This is just going to be on that slightly lesser side. Healthy grenade comes through. A lot of damage dealt there. Story in particular. 5-4. The boost comes through. tabseN. Basically, there's 1.5 at that point. The reaction is nice. Good flick. He's still got it.
He does indeed. He does indeed. It may well end up being one of the bigger what-ifs in World Counter-Strike, but
yeah, for sure.
Still time, and
a
reform. Get it back. Here. He needs his M4. He needs help. Help me!
No,
Roman. will take him down. He literally had like half a second to get that kill as well.
I think, did he think there was, I think he thought there was a gun there or something. Unless it was just a
He dropped his
complete
own.
mistake. Yeah,
He dropped his own, you know.
Which made me think that he thought that, but
surely
like,
not.
I think he just made a pure mistake. Yeah.
It happens, you know.
Yeah, it's one you can laugh about because, you know, it was a 1 round already and it was hopefully unimportant, but really well played from him. Just making sure.
There's no one around him.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes me feel weird. He just kind of throws it away and then looks at it. It's like, oh, damn. Like,
Yeah, it's a bit too far away.
me, yeah. But either way, big. Heading into the final round of the half. 6-5, advantage in their court. Yujo's going to get active. He wants a fight, and he'll take it, and he'll take it with ease. Not the second, though, as syrsoN and JDC combine well.
Looking good here. They've got control of this bottom end of ramp pretty comfortably. A nice nade does go in, takes a few chunks out, but another player lost is not ideal. Story's got to make something happen here. He knows it, trying to rotate back around. A Rozdosh will clear mid tentatively, pick up the M4. Story trained and ready here on the edge of the scaffolding. Spots the barrel, but JDC, reaction shot to shut him down. Rozdosh is all alone. He's on the site. He's in the right place. Keen headshot. They might even bail on him. Not going to be the case. They will still look to take the fights out here. Big gaps everywhere, of course, and a keen 7-5 comes in for the German majority.
Who's that go walking by? Now that's
final half of this here semi-final. It feels deserved between these two teams, potentially of that grand final. Maybe it's not quite delivered in terms of the maps just yet. Hopefully Vertigo will keep it up. The scrap begins again as a quick move towards B. Mutirius will roll first, has to lead from the grave here. They are very ready for this B hit on the CT side. Does that even matter though? syrsoN trying to still hold the line. Oh, it's tabseN that finds that all the same. Too many bodies to deal with. roman in the clutch once again. Never really finding success from here in that first half. Quick onto the first. He's not seen the second man. It has come across. The headshot doesn't land from Rigon. However, another opportunity at it. Oh, fades into the smoke, trying to hide away, just starve the information. Make him panic a little. Smoke goes down. Got to reapproach the fight. Maybe. Has he sold? That he's going away. Headshot lands through the corner of the wall. Can he get the crisp find here? roman struggling to get it done. That first was so nice. The second is yet to land. My goodness, neither of them can land the bullets here. Both reloading. Take a moment to readjust. Rigon again, adjust his posture, and it will work out successfully. He knows what's up. He feels good about it, and Big pick up the pistol.
He's 2 for 2 in the readjust the posture clutches. He did it on Nuke, and he does it again here. Oh, wow. That was really messy and very quick as the game started in that first half, but I really do feel like sAw actually just slightly threw that away. I think the way that we should be going about that is once you get those opening couple of kills that come forward from ayrsoN and U-Jerks, who get them the space past stairs and on towards the site, we've got to just clamp down and take control, but they don't. They dip away and they pause for a second, and it allows Big to set up. MP9, 1, looks for 2, gets it, 3rd on the tally, and syrsoN is collecting cash, baby. Rigon will have 1 more to his tally, and it will be just the Deagle. ayrsoN? Unfortunately, I don't think so, mate. And without the bomb as well, it doesn't really make too big of a difference. They can just allow him to mess around on towards this B site. He'll get caught in a second, I'm sure. And down he goes to Crimbo.
No! He fell off. The body, like, just
51
flipped backwards. Yeah.
That's a lot of cash actually just made in that round. That's 4 kills of SMGs there as well. So they're printing. And you can see a bit of stress, bit of distress on the faces of sAw. They know the situation they're in. They're 9-5 down now. No pistol, no follow-up. If they lose this gun round, we could be potentially talking about the beginning of the end.
Very true. The tension builds then as we move into the final stages of Vertigo. Big weren't really our favorite coming into this map, right? It's a small sample size. It's probably a map that they have indeed been putting some time into. They generally approach all 7 maps, gives them a bit of freedom, a bit of comfortability. The Mirage ban for sAw is a real sore thumb in their veto, actually. Yeah. They do have a good couple of maps, but perma-banning Mirage does make life difficult for you. But then, of course, best team of all time. That's what they used to do.
True.
Either way, Vertigo is where we're at. Big are defying expectations somewhat. I figured if they were to take this, it would be a close one, but they are starting to really stretch ahead. This is the barometer of the second half.
This is the round. I feel like if Big find this, considering it's a bonus buy, that's got to be curtains, surely. Or at least the start of them. This first full buy for sAw, we fall flat here. It's not only 10-5, it's probably 11-5 at that point, and surely it's a mammoth task which isn't up to scratch for them. First spotted, syrsoN, first shot connected, U-Jerks just as the smoke plumes.
A lot of damage done to the rest of this T side as well. It's looking good for Big. Story is the first to pick up. He will go down eventually. He's created something for his team. Can they work with it? Flank has been heard there in towards short. JDC finds the close kill. Rigon on the Deagle gets it done. And Big surely have done enough. It feels so damn good. The high five's not that clean, but the counter-strike was pretty good in that round. Gives them double digits, gives them the 11. They deny the bomb plant. So it feels like they are absolutely in pole position here.
That's got to be it. That has to be it, surely. syrsoN does so well. The first and the second as well behind it. Just to push out the smoke here. It's a good reaction alongside Rigon. And it all just slots into place. Rigon getting hyped, which is good. That's what we want to see. A great round from him. 2 kills. Very clean. And winning a bonus like that is massive. Drive-by from U-Jerks, but insta-traded by syrsoN. As he's happy to take fight to range, and the pressure, no scope not connecting. Story will get one in the flames. Tag on towards another as well. It's scrappy against the pistols, a 2 versus 2. syrsoN out of this just yet, because Mutiris, he thinks he slipped the net, but he's being held from both sides. Roman gets an AK in the 1 versus 2. Surely not doable in this spot. Flash over. And Roman just creeps by as well in the back lines. This may go overlooked for a moment. Back turn, JDC caught napping. Pants around his ankles in a 1 versus 1. Roman's got the side to himself, and it's a long flank for Crimbo.
Complete silence befalls Vertigo here. He will eventually make his way towards the bottom of the ramp. Roman checking the close angles, keeps moving again. Such a smart idea in the clutches. It seems like he's going to carry on and just hit this B bomb site. So Crimbo is quite far away from this particular venture. Speed picked up. Roman confident in himself that B will be clear. Digits being tapped in. Crimbo has picked up the pace, maybe a footstep heard as well. So Roman will have a good idea where he's coming from. The smoke leaves a gap above, and Crimbo's quicker, Crimbo's stronger. Roman head in hands after that. Knew he needed it. The 11th round for Big comes in. Thank God for the bomb plant, otherwise sAw would have to concede and play for the overtime. May not be the case here. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, they had to take that. That 1 versus 1 feels like it sums up this map. Advantages have, for the most part, always been in favor of Big. And now they are cementing them. Crimbo, we always call it the king of the clutches. He just doesn't lose those. The 1v5s, fair enough. But in those 1 versus 1s, Crimbo has always got his head screwed on right. And like you said, that gap in the smoke, it actually just works massively in Crimbo's favor. It's actually such a clean angle for him in comparison to the other side.
Hey, listen, man, Roman had it as well. He just didn't hit his shot. And I think that'll be the big thing, obviously going to affect the mental. And you saw him after that clutch.
He was tilted. And I feel like that's probably the vibe for sAw at the moment. Bit of head loss, bit of tilt as well. Understandably, because this is a series that they felt like they had an opportunity. They got that first map. They got it cleanly too, and on track for being reversed. Sweet. Crimbo good for the first as well, playing on top of double stack. And syrsoN through the smoke finds Story.
5v3, syrsoN looking for another. He will miss out. Jerks actually finds 2. Big moment for him. Mutiris catches 1 through the smoke on the other side of the map, so all of a sudden it's unraveled. 6 on the cards here. Roman can find this one cleanly. He does indeed. tabseN will just save it. sAw by themselves a lifeline.
There's money left over for Big, so with that tabseN save, they can buy in. It'll be fine. And they kept alive. The lifeline is still in their grasp, but far from being in a position of putting the pressure on Big just yet. Orb will be picked up too, so that's a nice little addition to have. Just gotta make sure that we keep it alive. It looks like he might just slip the net on this hunt as well. I'll say that. He's getting a little close here. tabseN, he's exposed on his right-hand side. He's tunnel visioned in. Roman's going all the way around. This is a timing play. He's been spotted, I think. Yeah, he has. Under pressure. He's in the open now as well. I'm sure Roman will see him in just a second. No, they go the other way around, and he might just survive. Yes, he will. As he gets that kill, I'm so surprised he gets away with that. Roman actually goes to join Mutiris rather than playing and splitting the difference there. Round 4 sAw, which is good. Like we said, Big will buy back in. That'll all go straight back over towards syrsoN. They're going to buy out around it. It'll be fine. So job far from done for Big, but they're close. Just 2 rounds away. And sAw need a pretty meteoric run to get back into this. It's asking a hell of a lot.
Orb rings off, doesn't find anything. So that's unfortunately revealed. And now, again, Big go into this sort of guessing game as you do with a saved Orb.
I would have thought they would have bought around this. They've done it before, where they've gone into like MP9s. We saw that quad MP9 1 Orb buy is something that isn't uncommon, especially when you've got a healthy lead. But at the same time, they've got plenty of time. Not under the pressure yet. So I guess the main thing is just don't lose the Orb here. If they lose the site, for example, just syrsoN just get away from here.
Yeah, I would say so. Still feels like they're sticking around. I think they should have enough money to buy the AWP into the next, actually.
Yeah, they will.
So, you know, it's not the end if he does go down. A Rosdosh, here's them rotating away. Story will train in. Just try and keep the attention, but the bomb is actually headed to the B site. Should be an easy enough bomb plant, little anticlimactic here. We get a few fights as a Rosdosh is hungry for it, try and get some numbers up for this T side. It's going to be a long old road. Another one of them, you know. It really has been a story of potential comebacks that have never really gotten going. Maybe sAw can change that with some pressure on their shoulders.
It's true. The AWP looks like it will stay alive, which is good. Might be a little looking for a hunt here. tabseN with the 5-7 and Rigon with the Deagle. It doesn't matter all too much. Like we said, they got money to work with in the next for a guarantee. And sAw, deficit at only 4. I say only, but it's at least workable there. That's 2 gun rounds of difference with the broken economies around it. It's not an impossible trajectory, as sAw do feel like they're starting to warm up a little bit in towards this game. Not quite the snowball just yet, but these are the right steps. 1 round at a time, take them relatively cleanly as well, and put the pressure on. But the difference is now we've got to see this happen on the next gun round too. If they can get this next one, then Big will start to feel a bit of pressure. They'll start to potentially ask questions, maybe take attack pause as well to try and ice out sAw. They don't want to let these guys get hot. When they warm into a game, it can be very difficult to stop.
All right, let's see. This is going to be a good tell, I would feel, if Big can shut them down here, of course. But, you know, if it goes super dominant for sAw, then I think we do start this conversation around the comeback.
I say 11-9. That's where we can open that door.
There's no saves here, you know. It could be potentially that easy 8. It's not miles away. Only a few rifle rounds, which of course is what you work on, what Counter-Strike is all about. Story's going to open up. Oh, Crimbo egregious. 18 kills. That won't be one of them. syrsoN will manage to find a trade back. Rigon is here quickly towards the B bomb site. Looks to drop the bomb. Not going to happen, and the rotators have been dealt with. Big losing their nerve ever so slightly. That is exactly what the doctor ordered. sAw will kick things off on their comeback campaign very cleanly indeed. tabseN not going to spot. uJerks actually finds the kill. All the same, that's very, very dominant. And you can see there's a little tense breath of like, well, we got to be careful here. We really got to be careful here.
Yeah, that's for sure. This gets really spicy now. I think for Big, they were in maybe such a comfortable position that they maybe slightly took their foot off the gas a bit. And it does feel like now pressure building. There's a really nice round, and it's something you touched on. If there's no saves out for Big, that makes matters real worse. And as you can see, by the investment in round number 20, this should be a relatively comfortable 9th taken on the board here. Investments are minimal. We've got 157, 2 Deagles, and one of them's already dropped to the ground. And not in a position to be recovered either.
JDC looking to get excitable downstairs. Or rather, down ladder. Oh, he's got the monkey business. What a skin. Can he make it work?
Oh, hello.
Rosdosh is ready. It's not an angle you deal with that often. It is dangerously close, but he'll take it. So just the 3 remain now.
uJerks. Looks like he's going to be sent in first there. A lot of a nade in towards sandbags. No one there, so they can start moving the way forward. That's a good flash, but actually Roman does well to just get out of dodge. Second time I'm asking, not so much, but a second time for uJerks. He delivers 2 for 2 in that engagement. Looks for 3 as well, and he'll get it as well. Brilliant. Only the 1 casualty against the low buy. That's perfect. That's fine. We are getting close. Now it's 11-9. And Scriv, now we can actually start to discuss about the comeback. 2 rounds in it, and basically 1 gun round the difference. So if we win this next, this game could be tied 11 apiece.
This is pressure as well, right? The Big side don't have that fail-safe of 12 to extend the game. When you're on 11, it is still losable. You know, you've got your sort of 3 different eventualities. You've got the win that you want. You've got the overtime that you would be satisfied with, maybe not quite happy, but it happens. And then, of course, you've got the loss. And when you get 12 rounds, you eliminate the loss completely. So they are yet to do that.
Both coaches getting very vocal. Berry over towards sAw and Kakafu over towards that big side. And they both realize the importance of this next round. For Big, it's about locking in that failsafe, as you spoke of 12. For sAw, finding this next round could be what's necessary for them to tie up the game. But syrsoN draws the blood first onto Story. ESL Atlanta back. syrsoN continuing his aggression, and he will deliver for a double. Looks for 3 as well, as ESL might actually just go through this smoke. This is risky. Like ships in the night, it goes in ESL's favor. Second time of asking, not so much. It's very scrappy, but it's looking good for Big. As sArSJosh left with it all to do in a 1 versus 3. This is difficult, but he has the bomb.
All right, here we go. This is the do or die moment, it feels like. Absolutely got to secure this. If they want to stay alive, the 12 rounds, sure, they can get into that, but comeback's not complete just yet. It'll give Big control of the game back. Nice find onto the first.
There's a flank.
Oh, he doesn't know about it. He doesn't know about it at all. He's going to fake it out once again, though, just trying to put some panic into his opponents. tabseN is not slowing down. It all comes down to the timing. He will spin, but doesn't see him. tabseN takes it. Certainly close for a moment. I think his arm was still going round to get the full 180. And there you have Big hitting map, series, and grand final point here.
Close now. So all comes down to whether they can pull off a few in a row to take this to overtime. We've had pretty one-sided games throughout most of our time here in ESL Challenger Atlanta. Today we've been delivered with a couple of bangers, and this one still has the legs behind it potentially, but the sigh of relief there from Rigon, from Kakafu. They know we've got 12, we've got that fallback, and saying even if things go completely awry, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, time to converse, and this is a pause called by sAw. We saw Berry get very vocal very early off the back of it. He knows what's at stake. Big round from syrsoN. That first is great, but it's the second, the re-aggression that comes in off the back of the flashbang. Perfectly played. So what have you got for us, fellas? Anything left in the tank? Or are they running on fumes? Now or never. 12-9, Big. 1 round away from the grand final.
Rigon on the spot. Molotov goes down. Trying to force some fights out here. There will be some forward steps in from the T side. Just got to be careful. Nade does some... Well, actually, I was going to say some good damage just automatically, but it doesn't actually. Rigon will be quite lucky to get away. There's lots of damage returned onto the other side. Slow moving here from the T's. Don't want to be that first player to go down in this situation, but somebody's got to take a risk. Story has been quiet, where syrsoN has not, so maybe now would be a good time to explode into action. Minute on the clock. Not the best look here, as sAw have very little control to work with.
Very quiet. You can see how tentative both sides are. This round, utterly important. Arguably one of the most important rounds we've seen so far in this tournament. This is the grand final spot after all. First and second are good for Big, as syrsoN and tabseN deliver. ESL Atlanta back, but they just completely fall off the aggression. Rigon sticks around, so does tabseN, and that might just be the closer. ESL, all that's left, and he cannot deliver. Big locked themselves into a grand final deservedly, and we have to say goodbye to sAw. A showing and a half from both sides, but it's Big who step up to the plate, and now potentially for that trophy.
Playing fantastic Counter-Strike throughout the course of the weekend. sAw not